It started. Welcome back, everybody. This is day 5 of the special Notary Assist training with the founder of Notary Assist, Sue Hope. Sue, welcome.
Thank you. Happy day. Happy Friday.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And my name is Bill Soroka. I'm the founder of NotaryCoach.com and the Sign and Thrive Notary Training Course and Community. Over this week, we have been talking about all the different features that Notary Assist has to help you optimize your business practices and increase your tax efficiency. So Sue, I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about, because again, we've got some fresh faces here. If you could just give us a quick overview of what Notary Assist is, and then jump in and tell us what we're learning today.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bill. And thank you again for having me this week. It's been super fun, and I've really enjoyed sharing our product with your group and really bring it to you so that it's a tool that can help you. So I'm a notary. I've been a notary in California for about 20 years, and I've done a lot of the same things that you guys are all out there doing right now, of hitting the pavement, being in your car, driving around, going to all the different appointments, doing everything from general notary work all the way to refinances and mortgage loan signings. So back in the day, we didn't have anything to put in any kind of automated system to keep track of the behind the scenes. It's one thing to be trained and be able to do what we do. It's another thing to be able to run your business professionally and keep track of all the working parts that make up your business. So Notary Assist was evolved because of my experience and not wanting to live out of shoeboxes all over my desktop anymore, and wanting to have efficiency and being able to get reporting out, especially come tax time, and not miss work because I put things off until the very last minute. So being able to bring this platform to basically this notary population and this notary public area has been what we've been doing for the last 10 years. We've been in business since 2007, trying to help you be more efficient and basically make it professionalism and business management, and just really recognize that you're an entrepreneur as well and trying to take this to you. So today we have spent the week learning about Notary Assist and how powerful the tool is and how easy to use it is and user friendly. So basically today we've got reporting. So we've done all this week. We've set up everything, and as we work to the end of the year, now you need to do your reports. And I'm going to show you today how all the information that you put into Notary Assist throughout the year can be generated in reports in a few simple clicks, and you can see how your business is doing. And granted, you don't have to wait till the end of the year just for tax time. If you do quarterly taxes, you can do quarterly reports. If you want to see weekly reports on how you're doing, you can do weekly reports. It's very customizable, easy to use, so you can see what your business is doing pretty much at any time whenever you want to. We try to bring that to you. So today we are going to move into reporting, and I'm going to try and share my screen again. Now that I'm getting so savvy with this.
Right. You should be second nature by now, right?
My heavens. Here we go. So I've already jumped in. So again, remember when we land in Notary Assist, once you sign in, you're going to land on the dashboard. And again, this is a quick visual of how you're doing and how your business is doing. This is just a graph of number of signings, or you can actually drop it into monthly dollar amount. So whichever you prefer, you can actually toggle between them, and you can do it for whatever year you might have data in there for. So you can select whatever you're looking for a quick reference tool. Again, for expenses, we have a pie chart, and we can see where your dollars are going as far as where do you have your expenses. And again, you can have it for whatever year you need to. Today, we are going to drill further down into this profit and loss overview by going to the left-hand margin, which is how we navigate through all of our Notary Assist system. And we're going to go down to reports. Today, we're playing in reports. If we open this up, we have a multitude of reports ready for you. The one that I think is the most important is this unpaid report. And the reason I say that is you work so hard and you're out there, you don't know what's outstanding. You want to know who's going to pay you. This one's great because you're getting paid, but I want to know what's outstanding. So if I launch, we're going to start with the unpaid report because that's where I like to start. And it's going to launch the unpaid report, and by default, it's going to run for the current calendar year that you are in. Now, obviously, this is going to stop on July 31st because we're in July right now, but you can also change this or modify this and take it all the way out to the end of the year if you would like. So you can take it out to December 31st and hit update report, and it'll update the report for you. It takes a second to just reload it. And it's probably thinking, well, it's not any different than the one that I just showed you, lady, because we haven't gotten there. But, so the unpaid report is going to be broken down by customer and the contact number for each customer and or fax number. And this is my unpaid report for January to, well, December of 2019. So I would be running this report whenever I do my taxes in 2020. So you can actually see that it is broken down by each customer. And there's going to be multiple pages. So see how it says page 1 of 2? You can flip to the next page by clicking on this little arrow, and it'll bring up page 2. Now, it's not uncommon for notaries to have 2 or 3 pages, hopefully not too many in the unpaid report, but this gives you an idea of who you need to contact and why is it unpaid. It's also a way to reconcile if you want to look at your monthly return and say, oh, I did get paid for this one. I must not have marked it in my view signings page or in my reporting page. So once you run this, you can print them. There's print buttons up here, and you can also download them. So right now, by default, it's a PDF, but you can change what the report is in. So if you want to have it in an XLS or like an Excel spreadsheet view, you can change it, but by default, it's going to be a PDF. And when you hit download or save, it's going to export it. It'll drop it down into this little view window, and it'll drop it into your downloads folder on your local machine. Because remember, we're looking at this in a web page. This is a web view, okay? So if you hit save, it'll download it here to your downloads folder, and then you would access it from your folder down here on your actual desktop, and you can rename it. But once this is printed, you can then kind of cross-check and go back to your Notary Assist screen and maybe go to your view signings and say, oh, I must not have marked this one paid, and I can go back and I can change it. So while this loads up, for example, Tucker might have paid me, so I can actually, I'm gonna drop you guys down here, I can actually mark it paid from the view signing screen. Part of what I meant to talk about yesterday and I didn't get to is if you notice on the screen, anything that's in blue is a link. So if I want to create an invoice, I don't necessarily have to click on the signing data entry sheet and go to invoice or create. I can actually also create an invoice from right here. So it also is going to pull up the information that I might need to add or edit before I hit send. We can print preview it, we can email it, or again, save it to a file. Now this save to file is also going to go into the downloads folder onto your local machine. That's how it's saved it. Okay?
We have a question here, Sue,
of course.
before you jump in. Deborah's asking, we might need a little clarification because I don't think I understand it, but can this be printed on a single line page?
On a single line page. I'm not sure if I understand.
Deborah, can you clarify that for us? It is showing us several lines.
Because it'll show what the data is in there. It's going to generate now. If you I was talking about the unpaid report. If there's only one signing that's unpaid, it would be a single line. It'll be if it's only one per customer, then it would be a single line per customer. I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question properly.
Deborah, are you saying you would rather have a separate page for every client? Okay, we'll revisit that one. And
yeah, just reach out to us. I'll be more than happy to elaborate on that.
One page showing all. Yeah, that's exactly what she showed, right?
For me,
So
yeah, for the unpaid report, it's going to have, basically it's this report is actually 2 pages, but it's broken down by who's unpaid. So it shows you the customer, and then the signings that are unpaid, and then the customer, the signings that are unpaid, customer, the unpaid signings, and so on.
Great.
So you're not going to, this is going to just show you what's outstanding.
Just what you have not been paid. Does that clarify, Deborah?
Let me know if it doesn't. I'll be more than happy to answer a little bit more in detail.
So look, she's jumping in there. So what this is, Deborah, you can see this is everybody who's unpaid, and it's just broke down by customer, so you know who to contact to get those invoices paid if you need to.
Correct.
So you see the top here is Cali Signings. The second customer is Lava Turtle Software. Third company is Notary Pro. Those are all of this whole report are all the unpaid invoices. And then it's broke down by customers. So you're not bouncing around and calling this customer for this invoice, then this customer for this invoice.
These are just, and you might even be able to notice, oh, I actually was paid for this. So you can go back. And this is why, see how it's in 2 different tabs? Whenever we do reporting, we actually open the reporting in a different tab. So you can actually flip back and go to a signing that might have already been paid, but it wasn't marked paid. So you can actually hop in to the View Signings page and see if it's paid or not. Did I hide that yesterday? Maybe I did. I did.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like, I hit those. Let me get those back. Here we go. So let's say I was already paid for one, but I missed it. So I can mark it paid by hitting the calendar button. See, these are all our quick access buttons. Everything that's in blue is a link. So if there's a signing that I need to mark paid, but I forgot to do so, I can mark it paid. I can select the date that it was paid, put in the reference number, if there is one, and hit save, and it'll automatically update that. And then if I run to this report, I would just have to update report, and that particular signing will drop off because now it's marked paid. So it's very quick and easy to flip between the report and the View Signings. Okay?
Beautiful. Yeah, it looks like we're good.
Perfect. So in the same vein, if I go back to reports, the income report is going to be broken down the exact same way. So if I come to the income report, and again, it's going to bounce open a new window. See, it's going to tell you which report is open in the window. And it's going to come in and show us what income report has been paid. So we're going to also break that down by customer. Now, this is only showing me January to July. Again, you can update these for last year or the year before. If you want to go a whole year back, you're going to click the double arrow. That'll take you to July of 2018. If you go this way, it'll go to July 2019, or single month by the single arrow. See how that works? You pick your date range and you hit apply, then you'll hit apply. But by default, it will always put in the date for right now. So it'll always put this year's date in there. And then you update report. And then it'll show you who's been paid and who's not paid in the income report. Okay? We come back over here, profit and loss. You click on profit and loss, everything works the exact same way. As long as you're putting money in and you're putting expenses in, it'll let you know what your profit and loss is for a date range. Let's say you only wanted to know what the profit and loss was for the first quarter. Let's do her first quarter. January, February, March 31st. How did Jane do January to March of 2019? And it'll load how we did. So your net income was negative. She had more expenses than she had income for the first quarter. So we can give you an idea of how you're doing projected each quarter, each week, each month, or each year. So we try to give you as much flexibility to see what you're doing and how your business health is at any time. The reports that I think you're probably going to be the most interested in are these down here. Obviously, expense report is going to be just a list of expenses. Everything is working the exact same way. We have the exact same tools. The window will pop up, and it'll be broken down by category in your expenses. So you can see at a quick glance what is my most expensive expenses. So you can kind of flip through, and this is again page 1 of 3. So you would arrow through the next page and to the next page. So you can see all of your total expenses for the current period. Okay, and you just go back to different categories. The mileage report pulls up all mileage that you've put in, including the extra mileage that you may have added. And it'll add it in chronological order, and it'll say if it's a signing, or if you did extra miles, it'll say trip to Staples, trip to UPS, trip to FedEx, and it'll drop it in between each one of these signings. Now, it's going to say, see how we're starting to now get into your mileage expense Schedule C. Now, this is your terminology for when you're doing your taxes. So Schedule C exemptions, they want to know what is on your Schedule C. This is going to show you how many pages we have. We're 1 of 2. I'm going to arrow to the second page. We give you your totals as well. Now see how it says start and end? If you're doing odometer to odometer, this will have your odometer readings in here, but because we're doing total mileage, we're only having the totals here. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between the reports if you were going to do odometer to odometer versus total mileage. But this is the number that you're going to need to report as your mileage expense, and this is multiplied by the current IRS rate that's published in the irs.gov website for business mileage. We're only doing business mileage here. So this year it's 58 cents per mile, I believe. Yes, 58 cents per mile versus 54.8 last year. So this is already the calculation for you, and then this gives you the total miles that you've driven in the year. The next category that we're going to come to is our big one. This is the tax report. Now, this is where we're going to start seeing how the self-employment tax exemption is going to pop in, and you're going to see some of these categories that we were talking about throughout our week. So this is where you're going to see the number of documents and the number of signatures. The notarial fee value, gross Schedule C, gross Schedule SE. Now mine is blank right here. Why is it blank, you say? Because I need to make sure there's a couple of things prepared. I'm going to go back to my NotaryAssist. I'm going to go back to my View Signings screen. If I put in my number of docs and signatures, NotaryAssist can do the math for me. But see how a couple of them up here do not have any in here? If I've forgotten to put in the number of documents and signatures, NotaryAssist will not know how to do the calculation for me. So I'm going to ask you to come back and give us those numbers. So if you forget to give us those numbers, we can't do the calculation. So you might have to come back and reconcile, because you might not know this before when you set up your appointment and you enter your data. You might have to come in and do this information after the fact, once you know how many you've done. So now you can add that I did 2, and that it was only 1 signer, and I had 2 documents. You can hit save. And again, the nice part is we're giving you quick access to it so that you don't have to go into here, signing, and then back into tracking, and then back into here. So we're trying to give you quick access, so when you're reconciling your business, you can have quick access to all this information from multiple locations. Now, if you have not been paid for a signing, the tax report will also not show if you've been paid. So if you haven't marked your signing paid, it won't do this calculation for you either. So let's go back. I'm going to look at my January signings. So I'm going to arrow back through my information and get to my January signings. And looks like I was paid on February 17th. My stuff is in here, so I want to check my tax report. And we've created that, so that's all paid, paid, paid. Check your tax report, and I'm going to go back to the was paid, and you can arrow back as far as you need to. Update report, because I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I just want to see what happened between then and there and see if it comes up marked paid. Right here is my information here, and I need to see what's on my gross schedule SE. And let's see here. They're paid. I'm going to drill into here and make sure there's no holes. And that's how you have to make sure that there's no holes. This is paid, this is paid, paid. Very good. Tracking, all my signings are in here. Save, close. And its income is here in the income report. Also, oops, moving down. Income report here, okay. So, in my tax summary report, also going to come up, and this is your totals for when you're doing your own taxes, okay? So this will break it all down for you, your Schedule C, your Schedule SE, your mileage expense. So we give you all your totals for your database and your expenses all in one location. So when I was telling you that we don't necessarily import into TurboTax, but we do give you your summary report. So all these numbers on here will correlate into your data for your taxes at the end of the year. You can take this summary and all these reports at the top of your page, you print these all out and you take them all to your tax professional, and you don't have to take all the backup. You don't have to present all of your backup to it. But you take these reports to your tax professional, and then they can tell you what is your best option for that particular year. And one year might differ from another year. So that's why we always recommend that you get all sorts of information from your tax professional, so you're maximizing your deductions and your tax savings. So that's basically how the gist of all these tax reports and your profit and losses work. And that way you can see all of your information that you've been putting in throughout the year works out perfectly for you.
Yeah, and that's the real power of this whole thing, is just making that end of year when we got to pay the tax man much easier. And you can get real strategic with your taxes, and I love the flexibility of this. This is awesome. Yeah. Now we have some specific questions about some reports. Do you have them now?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, great. Let's jump in. So first, Jason says, on the profit and loss report, how do you get it to take the mileage off of that?
How do I get it to take the mileage off of that? But not so. Are you asking if we're calculating the mileage into the profit and loss?
So in other words, without having to take an extra step, how is it going to be deducted from the profit and loss? So like the mileage is part of a deduction of a loss per se. So how can you get it to read on the P&L statement?
So what we do is we keep track of all of your mileage. We keep track of so your mileage is one deduction. Your profit and loss is a separate one. So you get to take that deduction at the end of the year. So it helps you get kind of, again, I'm not a tax professional, but what we're doing is we're keeping track of all your mileage, because that goes into one category. Your profit and loss is going to be pretty much everything else associated with it, but you are keeping track of your mileage so that you know how many miles you're putting on. You're knowing what your wear and tear is on your vehicle. Again, you're presenting that to your tax professional. The profit and loss is going to be mostly, your mileage is a kind of its own little category on its own, because that's a specific deduction or tax break that you get. Everything else is kind of in your profit and loss. So we take that out of the equation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got what you're saying. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Great question. So Linda says, on the expenses,
Yeah.
are you able to set up how the expenses are shown? Like, can you do alphabetized by vendor or highest money to lowest, etc.? Can you sort them?
They're sorted by date order. So as you put them in, they're in as you've made your expenses. So if you bought pens on January 2nd, and then you bought paper on January 30th, it'll be in date order. So you'll see what you did each month in date order. It's not broken down. And then when you do the expense report will show you the categories and how much you spent in that category. So you'll see automobile, and that'll be listed in alphabetical order, but also date order underneath that category. So insurance, legal and professional fees, whatever fees you might have or whatever categories you have set up, it's going to be broken down by the category and then in date order.
Beautiful. And then Deborah's asking, in general, is there any color coding that is available for customization inside the program?
Not yet. It's been asked a few times. We haven't done that, but it's been asked enough times that the feedback crew has elevated that platform, so we're going to look into it. Again, our biggest concern is making it not confusing and making sure that it's simple and easy to use and intuitive. So it looks like it's on the radar for potentially releasing in a future release or update. But right now, currently, no. There's no color coding except for the paid and unpaid debts. So unpaid is red if you're trying to collect this, and this is income.
Perfect. Beautiful. And then Abby asked a question that I know a lot of people might have on their mind, and she's asking, how many devices can you have NotaryAssist put on at any given time?
Many as you would like. That's what's so nice about it. It's actually not living on your individual device. It's living on our secure servers, and so you can access it anytime you want. So if you get 3 phones, you can have access to your account on all 3 phones. If you're at your mom's house, hanging out for the weekend, but you want to check on an appointment that you have on Tuesday, you can log in from mom's computer. There's no limit to, and we don't mind if you need to get into your stuff. We realize that you might be at a different machine, you might be out of town, you might have a different IP address. So you just need to make sure you keep your email address and your password handy so that you can log in.
Absolutely. So it's not a program that you download to any particular device. It's cloud-based, web-based. So you just log in like a lot of your other accounts, like Notary Coach course, with your login and password, and then you have access to everything.
And that brings up a really cool point, and I'm going to share this with you. We have a notary that's been with us for years. She was on the desktop version for a long time that we had when we first launched. When we migrated everything over, she was one of the first people that migrated over. She lived in Paradise, California. I don't know if you guys know where Paradise is in California or what happened, but that whole town was burnt down in a wildfire. She lost everything. She lost her computer. She lost absolutely everything. She thought she was up the creek without a paddle, and she called us and she said, I love you guys so much. My computer is in bits, melty bits at the bottom of the house. I didn't know if I could do my taxes for last year. But she goes, I logged in and all I had to do was put in 2 weeks worth of work. And I was able to do my taxes. She goes, you guys saved me. You saved me. Because I wouldn't have had any way to reproduce that if I hadn't have put it into your system. Because our system backs up every 5 minutes.
That's pretty amazing.
So that made us feel really good.
Yeah, definitely.
And you never know when an accident's going to happen, or if you have a small child that pours apple juice on your laptop or something in the morning. You never know when that's going to happen. And backing up has been notoriously probably the Achilles heel of most of our users on the desktop platform, and they would lose data for years. Now that they're on our platform, we automatically back it up. So we're backing up the system regularly. We can reproduce within, I would say, I think 4.5 minutes of use. So we can help you get back stuff that you might not have been able to keep. So that's what we're trying to protect. We're trying to protect your data. We're trying to have it here for you and safe for you.
Love that. And it looks like we're caught up on questions.
Oh, cool. All right. So is there any, so the tax reporting.
I'm sorry. I had a question. I raised my hand, Bill. I guess you didn't see that.
Oh, hi. Sorry.
Yeah. I thought I'd raise my hand first. I'm sorry. I stepped away. I might have missed this, but in the report, Hope, where it shows the total income, you know, we work with signing services.
Yes.
And we obviously don't get paid for the exact amount of notarial, signatures that we do.
Correct.
So in the report for the total income, does it break out the notarial fee income?
On the, does NotaryAssist break it out for you? Is that what
yeah, because that's not included, in our, we're not required to pay self-employment tax on notary income.
Correct. So let me go back to the tax report here. And so I know this isn't, the problem is I'm not able to show you the full report because Jane's data is not actually live.
Okay.
I don't have the data in here, so it's kind of a snapshot. On your gross Schedule C is what you're going to see how much money you made on the income report. So the income report, wrong one. Sorry, let me go here. Your gross Schedule C is going to be all income that you had from January 1 to December 31 for any given year. Okay? So your gross schedule, sorry, wrong report. So your gross Schedule C will be that number. Your reporting on your Schedule SE is going to be a fraction of that because some of this income is going to be self-employment tax exempt dependent upon your Secretary of State's ruling. So depending on your state law, we'll know, and what we ask you as far as this notarial fee value, we're going to, like, so example, this one, the notarial fee value was $45. I believe it was $100 signing that they got paid. So the gross Schedule C will be $100, but what's reported on the Schedule SE is the difference between the two. So it would be $65. Does that make sense? So we subtract the fee value from the gross Schedule C and what's reported on the Schedule SE. So that's how we break it down. I know this is not a very good picture of it.
Because I was looking for where it said, the name of the signing service, and you received $150.
So it is broken down on your tax report, your income report. Your income report will break it down by customer in every single category. Just like the unpaid report is broken down by how much is not. The income report looks exactly like this, broken down by each signing service per se, if you're doing mostly signing services. So you can take your 1099 and you can compare it on the income report. So the income report is going to look like this when it's fully full.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have your 1099, you'll look at your 1099, compare it to this.
Got it.
And that will be able to help you reconcile what you received as far as payment for your Schedule C from each customer. Now, then that goes into NotaryAssist, and then we say how much is reported on your Schedule SE. Now, again, you take that to your tax professional, and your tax professional will advise you from there. But it breaks it down for you. The other thing that you're kind of bringing up, which I'm going to touch on just a smidge, is sometimes you'll get a 1099, and your 1099 will not match your income report. And that's because you might have done a signing at the end of December, and the company will 1099 you for that, but they didn't pay you till January.
Mm-hmm.
So you technically don't have to report that income until you receive your check. NotaryAssist knows once you receive the check is when we record that income. So if you did a signing on December 15th but didn't get paid until January 15th, that income is going to be on your next year's income report. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you know that. But your mileage and any expenses that you accumulated for that particular signing is going to be reported on the same year that you actually did it, the date that you did the signing. So we know how to help record your income, your mileage, your expenses, and when to report that properly in your taxes. I hope that helps.
Okay.
And then Victoria, I don't know if you caught the previous couple of days training too, but Sue did show us how to do that, and she kind of touched on it.
Okay, yeah, no, I missed yesterday's.
Okay.
So and if you have any trouble, give us a holler. We'll walk you through it step by step so you can see what you need to see on your report.
Okay. Yeah, I did send something. Hopefully I'll hear back from somebody.
No problem. We'll be happy to help.
Okay,
awesome, Victoria. Thank you. Great question, because I know that tax clarity question pops up a lot, and that's really important. Yeah, definitely. Now, we have kind of a more general question here, Sue. You tell. Sure. This is the first time somebody asked it. Abby's asking, so how does NotaryAssist distinguish itself against other notary software like Notary Gadget?
That's excellent. Personally, I love that there's competition in the space because it only helps everybody else. It makes everybody better. So we love that, and we do know Gadget, and he's got a great product as well. I feel, as far as from my perspective, what distinguishes us slightly in a couple of different aspects. We try to, our flow is slightly different. And again, this is all personal preference. So our flow through the software and through the application is slightly different. We try to offer as many quick and auto-complete fields as possible. So for example, the autofill for locations, we try to tie in with that to help you get in and out and fast, as quickly as possible on your way. We think our technical support is fantastic. They like to answer your calls, not just from email. We will talk with you on the phone. We're constantly getting feedback. So if we come down here on the feedback button down here, you can actually submit a suggestion that would make NotaryAssist better in your opinion, or report something that's not working properly. Like let's say you've been working with something, your Google push for some reason comes up from time to time. My Google Calendar all of a sudden is not receiving my appointments, and I didn't do anything. That sometimes happens. So reporting a bug to us lets us know that there's something not working and it was working before, and it helps us kind of start looking into it right away, because this comes straight to our development team inside our offices here. So you don't have to actually hop out, create an email, send it. You can do it from right in here. We try to get back to you right away. Sometimes it'll take maybe a week for us to understand what the heck happened, to dig into the code to see what happens, but they'll figure it out and they'll get back to you and fix it. A suggestion, we always love suggestions because you're out there, you're the ones out there in the field. We listen to our notaries. We try to bring and incorporate as many tools to you that you feel would make it better. We want to help experiment. We want to help expand and make things better. So we always take this information and then it goes into a database and we start weighing it. The more people that start asking for the same thing, that suggestion jumps up in our development hierarchy so that we can actually start looking into that. Because we have to look at every suggestion and we have to make sure that it's a good investment for our developers to do, and also that it's not going to be too cumbersome or confuse the user, because we spend a lot of time and money and effort in making it nice, smooth, clean, and neat. So we try really hard to bring every suggestion that you guys suggest to us, because you're the ones using it. The other thing is, I think our price point is fantastic. We try to bring you the most powerful development tool available specifically for the notary industry at the lowest possible cost. We know that you guys are out there and you're going to be squeezed on all different levels. We would rather give you we'd rather serve a lot of people and have a little bit of a cost instead of having a massive cost and only serving a few people. That's kind of where we're looking at it, and that's how we try to run our business.
Fantastic. I love that. I love the response, and I love, when it comes to like which one's better, sometimes it really, and you nailed it, it's just personal preference. Sometimes the font is a favorite over another, or just the way things click through. So exactly. I love that that there are options out there. That's really powerful.
Raise what works for you, because that's how you'll be successful.
Exactly. There's a couple other questions here that are more about some of the features, and you tell me if you'd rather have them direct them to you offline, or we can answer them right here. But Deborah asked, Is there any way, are there any plans for a Siri or a Alexa type integration?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we'd love to, but sometimes that can be fabulous, and then sometimes that can be so harmful. Sometimes Siri doesn't always understand what we're saying, and I don't know if you've experienced it, but he'll say or she'll say, depending on what voice you have set up, I don't know what you're talking about. And
All the time.
we don't want that to either cause double entries or, so right now I think we need it to be a little bit more, get the kinks worked out a little bit more and have it a little bit more stable before we actually embrace something like that. Maybe having something like, hey Siri, will you launch Notary Assist for me? We might be able to do that, but I don't know if we would allow Siri to kind of come in and play.
Great. And then the final question, it looks like, before we get into I want to make sure that everybody has their support options for you too, because I think that's very impressive. The final question then, is there any plan or to have the capability to scan a receipt directly into your system for expenses?
I believe that's very high on our list. Like we said, that suggestion has been added quite a bit, and we are doing research right now to try and bring that feature to you easily and efficiently, so that again, that's one less thing that you have to worry about. And there's actually quite a few other things that we're working on too that might be available by the end of this year to make life even easier for you, but I can't quite divulge those yet.
I can't wait to hear about it. Maybe you'll come back and tell us about it.
I would love to come back and tell you as soon as we know we've gotten it further along and we can share it with you, we'll be more than happy, because it's a pretty big enhancement, and I think it will really make, again, we try to add these features to try and separate ourselves and to be, the go-to notary software for the notary population.
And then you have some amazing support.
We have wonderful support.
Why don't we tell people where they can, what are their options for support?
Okay, so we have a couple of different options. So Notary Assist is open. We're in California, so we're on the West Coast, so Pacific Standard Time. We open our doors at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're here until 5, and sometimes after. If people are needing help, especially around tax time, our offices tend to be open until about 7 o'clock at night, knowing that you're trying to get your taxes done and you have questions and you're not sure what to do. We'll be more than happy to try and help you. That's our busy time. And just so you guys are comfortable, we do not do any updates or upgrades to our software during that time. So from January to April, we will not push out any new features or anything like that that could compromise people doing their taxes. We just feel that that's the best thing to be safe for you guys. But we are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we can reach us by telephone 949-713-3570, and we actually answer the phone. We're more than happy to talk to our customers. We're happy to try and walk them through whatever difficulty they might be having, or if they're not quite sure about how to do something, we'll walk with them, we'll talk with them, and we'll figure it out together. Even if it's sometimes a problem that's not even our issue. It could be a problem that Google has pushed an update out, or Microsoft has pushed an update out. A lot of times, the best way to fix things is to close your browser down completely and reopen it, because updates come out usually every Tuesday night at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's usually when it happens.
Exactly. But we are also available at support@notaryassist.com. You can send us an email. You can hop in the feedback button and hop in and add a suggestion or add a question or ask a question or even report a bug. Let us know that something's not working. We'll get right on it. This feature inside the Notary Assist app is monitored, again, Monday through Friday while the techs are here. If you want to catch us on the weekend, support@notaryassist.com is monitored all weekend long and in the evenings. So if it's after hours, we would recommend you reach out to support@notaryassist.com. But during working hours, these go right to the desktops of our developers. So they're right here.
Awesome. I love that. I love how communicative you are and how easy it is to really share our opinions and offer those suggestions. That's really powerful, Sue.
That's how we make it better. So we trust you guys. You guys are the one out there doing it every day. You're the expert. So if there's something that you're noticing that would make your life easier, you're probably not the only one. So let us know, and we'll try and help you if we can.
I love that our paths have crossed here, Sue. I'm a big proponent of the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, that constant continuous improvement, and you really demonstrate that here. I really appreciate it, and just being cool and open to a crazy idea like this, to come on an hour every single day for 5 days and train notaries how to use your software.
I love it. This is what we love to do. We're a software company, and I'm a notary, so we have other software products. We're around. We're savvy, but my notary community is my favorite, and I have my hat still from yesterday.
We're going to call that your crown, because that's
my crown, my notary crown.
I love it. Well, guys, and Sue has made a very special offer for everybody who's watching today. What I really love about this is she offers a full 30-day free trial. The link is in the chat window. You are free to click that. You can start your free trial. No credit card required for the entire 30 days. So it's 30 days or up to 20 appointments.
Right.
Completely free. Tinker around, add your appointments, see if it works for you. See if it fits your style. And then after that, if you decide that you want to buy it, it's already less than $100 a year, but Sue is offering it for 25% off by using the Notary Coach coupon code. So
right.
that takes it down less than $70 a year to have full access to all of the accounting software you might need.
Exactly. And if you have any questions, just holler at us. No questions too small.
I love that. And I'm typing in, it's just Notary Coach. The coupon code is Notary Coach. If you're just ready to jump in and buy it, you can do that too. I know Sue would appreciate it. Sue, thank you so much. This is awesome.
I love this. I can't wait to hopefully take a trip. Maybe I get to visit in Arizona and get to see some of your friendly faces.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the heat right now, there's a higher chance that I'm coming to see you.
No, well, come on over.
All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much.